Hello, today I thought I would share with you some of my stitching projects that I've been working on in June. Now if you click on the description box below, you'll see that I've included timestamps in this vlog. So if there's a particular craft that you're interested in, you can actually skip to that craft. But I hope you enjoy this vlog and watch it all the way through. So let's start on Monday, and that's when I like to work on a miniature project. So this is Sweet and Simple. The designer is Buttermilk Basin. And these are like they're like a door hanger. So there's a ribbon on here. So you can hang these on your drawers or your door handle. I'm thinking of purchasing a board, but I haven't found one yet what is suitable for this, but I want like a chopping board, and then I can swap them out. So every month I received a kit. This was a subscription from Liberty Bell, which is an online shop in the UK, and every month I received a different door hanger for the month. So this was the one for June, and I must admit this has been my favourite one so far. So yeah, I loved stitching this, I really did. So I'll pop a photograph in and you can see it in a little bit more detail. Now I have fallen a little bit behind with the projects that I planned to make, and there's some good excuses for that. I've been away a couple of times this month. I actually went to Anfield to watch Bruce Springsteen because my partner's a big fan, and whilst I was there during the concert, Paul McCartney come on, which made my day because I'm a big Beatles fan, you see. I never thought I would ever see in real life, live a Beatles, so that really made the show for me. And I've also been to So Hot UK, so I went to Fleetwood. And we were watching another, this time it was a tribute band of Bruce Springsteen, and whilst I'm at Fleetwood I always pop into So What UK. So there's been a couple of long weekends where I've been away, you see, and it's impacted quite heavily on my crafting. So I did plan to make the Tilda Kitschy Friends, which is a free pattern. You can access this on the Tilda's website, but all you do really is just Google in Tilda Kitschy Friends and it'll pop up the pattern wheel. So this far I've got, I've done her arms, I've stitched her arms and I've stitched her legs. So yeah, there's the arms. They're just ready now to be sewn on, and these are the legs, and I've just used scraps of fabric really, and so hopefully next time I speak to you this will be completed. But oh, it's so clever, really clever. Now I have put a little wooden dowel in the neck because I have noticed, no matter how carefully I stuff these dolls, they always have sort of a bendy neck, so I've put a little wooden dowel in there just to keep her straight. So so tonight whilst watching television I shall be stitching all the limbs to this doll. Right, I'll just get my notes. Now I did intend to make a couple of hens, and it was from this book. Again, it's a Tilda Crafting Springtime Gifts, and it was one of these hens I wanted to make. But what happened is I've got some brown fabric upstairs, but it did say for the, well, they're not legs, are they, but the claws, and the chicken legs there, it suggested a terracotta fabric. Let me just show you in a bit more detail there. And I hadn't got any terracotta coloured linen, and I just thought it'd be a shame really, because I looked in my fabric stash and I've got quite an extensive one, but I did have a search. I got some orange quilting cotton. And I just thought to myself, you know, if you're going to put the time and effort into making something, I just think it would be a lot better if I could have more of a terracotta coloured linen. So what I intend to do, when I went and Sew Up UK I couldn't find any, so I'm going to go into Holly's Haberdashery. I haven't been to the new shop yet. So Holly's Haberdashery is my local fabric shop. Now it's moved, she's got a bigger premises now, and yeah, I haven't been yet, so I must go. I'm thinking of going perhaps tomorrow or Friday. I'll nip up, and yeah, hopefully I can find some terracotta linen, because Holly's is a flagship for Tilda fabrics, you see. So that's why I haven't made my hens yet. And I also plan to make some chicken placemats. That hasn't occurred yet, so that will be moved on to July's projects. So yeah, I did fall a little bit behind. Tuesday is my cross stitch day, and I've been working on my Hawks Run Hollow. So this is a year at Hawks Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings, and it's living in this lovely project bag. And I'm stitching this on an 18 count country mocha. There is subtle modelling, I would say, on this fabric. It is an Ada, and I just can't wait to show you how far I've got. So last time I spoke to you, I'd gotten this far, and now I'm on my last block. So there we go. As you can see, I haven't got that much left to stitch, and this will be a completed project. I must admit, when I first started stitching this project, I've enjoyed stitching all the squares, I really have. And, you know, I start stitching one square and I think, oh, this is my favourite block. No, this is my favourite block, you know. So I must admit, this has been my favourite block so far. I mean, every block I've stitched, I've thought, oh, this is my favourite. But this one, I dreaded stitching. And I think it was because it was full coverage and there was a lot of black, and I thought, oh, I don't know, you know, if I'm going to enjoy stitching this. But I must admit, I've loved every moment. I've worked on this most mornings and mainly on a Tuesday, and yeah, I've really enjoyed putting every stitch in. So I'm going to just show you the full piece now. In fact, what I'll do is I'll stand up and you can see. So here we go. And as you know, if you've been following me for a while, I stitched this the wrong way round, but never mind. And there we go. Just that little bit left to do. So next time I do a monthly roundup, when I upload that vlog in July, at the end of July, hopefully this will be finished. When I say I stitched it the wrong way round, it should be this way, 3 by 4, but I've done 4 by 3, but never mind. But I'm so happy with how this has turned out. I really am. So that's my Hawks Run Hollow. We're nearly there. You see, I work on 3 different projects, you know, each Tuesday. So as you can see, I've got 2 other projects there, but I just couldn't put my Hawks Run Hollow down. I get this with stitching. Sometimes I'll be cross stitching a piece, and then I'll go gung-ho on it for a while, and then I pop that down and pick up another piece, and then I go all gung-ho on that and won't put that down. But yeah, I'm going to finish this in July. definitely. So my next project is living in this project bag. It's called Sunflowers Farm. The pattern is by CuoreeBatticuoreShop. I think I've pronounced that more or less right. This is on a 28 count DMC light mocha linen. Last time I spoke to you I'd gotten this far, and I've only done a little bit of work on this, and this is on the sunflowers. So yeah, I've just taken a small area and decided I would stitch, you know, so like the sunflowers, I just wanted to work on those. Now I have made a mistake, wouldn't be me. So I think it's about here on the border I'm a stitch out. So when I've gone along I've realised, but I don't think it's going to make a problem. I don't think it's going to create too much of a problem for me, because the motif, you know, like motifs what I'm stitching, it's not full coverage. I can sort of finagle this so it'll be okay. Everything will meet up, if you know what I mean. So yeah. So that's my Sunflowers Farm. The next project is living in this project bag. It's called the Vintage Farmhouse, and this was designed by Laurie Pengley, and her company is called Pansy Patch Quilts. This is on I think this is a 28 count. It's a Shawl linen. Now I was going great guns on this. I've been really enjoying myself. So this was a previous photo, and then since I last spoke to you, this is what I've been working on. Now I've come to a bit of a problem here. I've started to run out of one of my threads, and it's called Mossy by Gentle Art, so I'm going to have to send off for that, and hopefully I can work on another area of this which doesn't require that colour. But yeah, it's a shame really. But yeah, there we go. I access this pattern through a subscription I have with Primitive Quilts and Projects magazine. Now you may recall that many a time I have mentioned this magazine, which went digital. I think it went digital last year, and through the subscription I could access all the past Primitive Quilts and Projects magazines. It was fabulous. So this particular one was would be good if I got it right way. This particular pattern was in the summer 24 edition. So they used to bring out 4 magazines a year to coincide with the seasons, and then last summer they I think that was the last one. They then went to a new style where they were publishing 4 projects a month, and yeah, that was really good as well. But sadly a newsletter came out, I think it was last week, a couple of weeks ago, where they're no longer going to be publishing. So it's very sad, but you can still, I don't know if you can still subscribe and then, you know, get access to those issues you want, but it's going to be live, that subscription is till December. So yeah, I'm very upset about that, because I loved that magazine. It was one of my favourites. So yeah. Now I don't know if I mentioned that this is a 28 count Shawl linen, which I purchased from Hobbycraft, and I love stitching on this. you can, just as a side note, you can access this pattern also on the, is it Pansy Quilt? I'm just going to look, the Pansy Patch Quilt website, so you can access this pattern there as well. But initially that's where I accessed the pattern, on the Primitive Quilts. So on a Wednesday I usually work with wool. Now, you know, I've been making all these lovely crochet squares, which was a pattern from Crochet Me Lovely. She has a website and also a YouTube vlog where she'll give you tutorials, and I need now to start planning out the formation of the cardigan. However, I went, my daughter's, this is for my eldest daughter, I went last week and I forgot measuring. So I haven't been able to start seaming the squares together, because I really do need those measurements. Because what I'm worried about is if I lay them all out, I realise I haven't got enough, and then crochet some more and you've got a glut of the same colours, if you know what I mean. So that's what I need to do. But I've got 2 more projects to show you that involve wool. So I have started my shawl, so it's living in this project bag. You may recall I was, you know, flirting with the idea of a crochet shawl, or I didn't really want to knit one, I didn't. But I've decided to knit this shawl. Now, this is the wool I'm using. Remember the saga I had with this. It's, I don't know what the colour is, but it's by Coastal Colours. They're based in Fleetwood as well. They have got a website. And I purchased this, I think it was about 3 years ago. It's from the Bakewell Wool Gathering Festival. So, I mean, it's quite a thin wool. I'd say this is a lace. And I had problems getting, you know, winding this up, because it's quite hairy, so it sticks together, if you know what I mean. And then I thought I would do the border in this wool here. This is a bit thicker, but I love this. And I purchased this from a shop in Florida when I was on holiday. Now, I didn't really want to crochet, because I think sometimes, I think anyhow, that when you knit you see the colour definitions, the changes better than when you crochet. They look more mottled to me when you crochet. So I decided I would knit the shawl. Now this shawl, if you look at it, has got garter stitch, and I didn't really want to do garter stitch neither, and it was quite difficult for me to see the stitches at the time, because they're quite little. So instead of garter stitching, I am stocking stitching, and this is how far I've got. So I quite like that. Now I'm knitting this double, because the contrasting wool I want to use is thicker, so I am knitting this double. So there we go, that's what it's knitting up like. And it has got a little bit of stellina in it, which I do like, but it's not going to glitter on here, it's not showing up. So I thought I would knit the garter stitch sections in that wool, and then the lace sections in this. So we'll see what it looks like as it progresses. Now This is a triangular shawl. I didn't want to be knitting where I've got like 500 stitches on my needles. I really didn't want that. So that's what I've chosen, and like I say, it's a free pattern, so you can't go wrong really. Living in this project bag is a little baby's cardigan. So here we go. I'm knitting this one. It's a pattern by Hayfield. I've chosen the V-neck because I like V-necks on little girls. You can see the dress, can't you? It's all pretty. Right, let me just... Oh, I've got quite a bit of paraphernalia in this bag. Right, let me get the wool out. So this is a robin. It's a double knitting wool, and it's Bonny Babe. Let's have a look at the pattern number. It is 1361. So that's the shade number. It's blowing out a little bit, but this is a lovely pale pink. That's more or less the colour there. So this was left over. I think this was left over from a blanket I made a long time ago, and a little cardigan. But anyway, let me show you how far I've got. I've completed the back of the cardigan. I'm knitting an 18-inch size chest, so like I say, it's raglan style, which is my favourite. I've completed one of the fronts. Now I'm trying to be clever, it never works. I didn't really want to knit the rib on afterwards. I don't like that look because you've got that seam, and I don't like that. So I thought what I would do is knit the rib as I progressed. So this is started, the rib started on 3 and I think it's 3 1/4, is it, needles, but it's the old size 10. But then I go on to number 8s, 4mm. But obviously the rib I've been knitting separately up, so it's all knit together, but I'll knit the rib on the size 10 needles, see. So that's what I've been doing. Don't know why I've done that. Just wanted to be all neat, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have to start on the sleeve, which I have done, and I thought if I get the sleeve finished, then I can stitch that up to the back and the front, and then see how I go with the rib round. I know, I don't know why I do these things. I think I am going to have to join the rib, aren't I, at the back. But you see, I just hate these seams. There's no pleasing me. I like knitting back to and fro, like the old patterns, but I don't like new patterns where they make it complicated, but there we go. So Thursday is my WIPGO day. So that's WIPGO 2025. If you want to find out more, you can go onto Facebook and search in Facebook WIPGO 2025 and it'll come up. You can join the group, and it's great fun. Sorry for that noise, just opening up the project pack. So in June, numbers 23 and 21 were called. Okay, and that says smalls. So let me show you what I've stitched. So this is my first one, and it's called I Love to Stitch. It was a free pattern by Primrose Cottage Stitches. It was on their monthly newsletter. It was a free stitch Friday. So I've done it with the call for, I've stitched it with the call for threads. I know it doesn't look completely square because I'm making this into a small, so I will cut off this right side and overlock it, and then I'll fashion it into a pillow. So yeah, so there we go. I didn't think that was bad for a free pattern. So yeah. So I've also worked on another small project. Now I subscribe to Readly, and every now and again I'll look through the cross stitch magazines on there, and I will bookmark particular projects. And I thought, you know what, I haven't looked at my bookmarks for a while, I'll have a look. And lo and behold, this pattern popped up. So this is called Seed Pack Towels. It's designed by Elizabeth Spurlock of Saving Graces for Fine Needle Arts, and it was in the Just Cross Stitch magazine dated the 6th of April 2021. Now I've started working on the lettuce one, and these are the with the called for threads. I'm working this on just a piece of DMC I had in my stash. This is, I think it's a 14 count, but it was in my stash, and I just thought, you know, this would look lovely stitched on this fabric. So excuse the park threads, I'll show you this view here, but isn't it lovely? I just love it. So as you can see, I haven't got a lot left on this particular one. Just got a few leaves to cross stitch there, then we go into the grain, then I'll go into the lettering and finish the border. Now again, I don't know how, but I thought I'd counted correctly here when I started the lettuce, but it should have been a stitch over. So I've had to again finagle the stitches, because I'd stitched quite a bit of it. And it's only when I got to this row here that I realised I'd made a mistake. But I don't think it looks too bad. I'm loving this. Now this is for my dresser behind me, because it will be, when I finish decorating it, a garden theme. So I thought these seed packets would look fabulous. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this one's turned out. And I also, you know, once this one is finished, I will show you how I fashion a pillow together, and then I'll work on my tomato one. I've got some other seed packet ideas as well, which I've bookmarked, but these two, I thought, yeah, I just want to get these stitched. And once I started working on this particular one, I just couldn't stop. So for the last, it's not only on a Thursday I've been working on this, but a couple of nights I've worked on it as well, because I just couldn't put it down. So I've been watching a rerun of Dallas. Well, there we go. Right. So that's my seed packets. Now the two more numbers have been called for July, and those are 2 and 16. So this month I'll be working on my mini seaside beacon and my chocolate and coffee. So I can't wait. I've been working on my Beatrix Potter quilt, and this has taken me quite a few hours to stitch, but this is my latest block. It's from the Tale of Gloucester. So yeah. So I've used wax crayons for tinting, and the rest is all embroidery. And I've done some painting with thread on the cotton reel there. So this is just on an old, like I say, it's just an old piece of linen that I've got. So all I need to do is trim off the block and overlock it. Now, when I first stitched this, I was going to just pop a couple of buttons round there, but then I decided I would embroider a background on it. So let me show you this book. It's inside the book because that's where I take all my ideas from. In this one you can see this little pattern of pink and blue flowers. So I decided I would stitch that on the background, you see. Now there is a famous saying in this book and it's called no more twist. The little mouse says no more twist, so I thought somewhere I might stitch a label saying no more twist and stitch that on. And then when I was stitching this, I remembered now I had the idea of stitching this on cream satin, because in the book I think it was cream satin that the mouse stitched on. And I forgot and stitched it on linen, but never mind, that's my third block now. So for July there's two ideas I've got. There's the Tale of Jeremy Fisher, and I've purchased some Derwent Inktense pencils to help me to colour in a block of Jeremy Fisher. And I will also include some embroidery on that block. But I'm waiting for a fabric fixative to be delivered. The other block I might make is this one, which features Jemima Puddle Duck. So this is the picture. It's from Quick and Easy Cross Stitch. I mean, I purchased this a long time ago. It was from eBay, not realising that people were just basically photocopying. And I've got, oh, where's that gone? Got it somewhere. And I've got some of this soluble canvas by DMC. So basically you pop that over your linen and then you can stitch on the soluble canvas, and then you can just use water to dissolve it, you see. So that's what I'm thinking of doing, is doing Jemima that way. So dependent on what arrives, if the fabric fixative arrives first, I'll work on the Jeremy Fisher, but at the moment it's looking like Jemima is going to win, so that will be my next block. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Leave me a comment, tell me what you're currently working on, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week when I talk about how I based a quilt. Okay, until then, bye.